All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, the Vet is on a trailer. We only got to get pulled over one time before it broke, and when we got pulled over, we weren't even speeding. As you know, I've been having some clutch issues with the car, and I couldn't figure out what it was. Today, we came back and tried to bleed it again. We, went away from it for a couple of days so that I could get some composure and ask a few questions online. Everybody said it's probably the slave, so we just came back with a prayer and a hope to bleed it. And when we went to bleed it the last time, finally fluid came out of the torque tube / clutch area. So that just lets us know that the clutch is probably, or the slave cylinder is probably bad, and it's going to need replaced. So we're going to have to look down there with whatever's wrong. I called a transmission shop here in town. They said they do not want to touch it. So it looks like your boy's going to be working on it again. Zach and I have got decently proficient at yanking motors and putting them back into this car. So third time's the charm, I guess. I had 2 other chances to put slave cylinders in this car, and I didn't both times, and I've been kicking myself for not doing it. So this time, I guess we'll do it. We'll get better at pulling a motor out, so if we blow one in the future, we can have a better procedure, and maybe we'll make the clutch / transmission torque tube area a little bit more bulletproof with putting a new slave cylinder in it. Since we have a tick master in it now, we'll have a new upgraded stock, I guess ish, GM slave cylinder, I think is what I'm going to go with. And then there's like a tick billet, I don't know, throwout bearing guide, I guess is what it is, but it's made of aluminum instead of the plastic. The plastic one has a chance of failing, but we're going to look at that, and then I guess we'll show you guys what's going on. I might take a couple days off work, and maybe we'll record the process of yanking the motor out of this from the top. I don't know if I've seen another video on it, but it's semi-easy with the equipment that Zach and I have in a barn. So we'll try to record that if that's what you guys want. But thank you guys for watching. The car is down, but it'll be back up. We're hoping it'll be maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks to get it back running, since our schedule is a little tight. But look for the next video. We're gonna come back and hopefully make the car a little bit better than it was. The car is apart again. So this is like the 3rd time the car has had no engine. This is the 2nd time that I've pulled the engine out. Learning some different things, trying to tweak different things on how I go about working on the car. I'll just show you the engine bay real quick. Yep, completely torn apart. So what I found that was interesting is, if you can see at the shaft there closest to the torque tube, there's light coloring because of aluminum shavings, and I pulled out these chunks from the splines. And then if you look at the slave here, you can see that it's bored out. So I've been told, or I've heard that the slaves fail on these a lot of times, but it's like the plastic part gets hung up. I'm not sure if that's what that is, or if it's something else. All I know is that slave must have either rattled or moved in there to force that to start rubbing against the shaft. So if you guys know what actually happened, let me know. But that's what's going on with the car right now. I have a new tick slave. It's actually a GM slave with, like, I think the support is billet. So maybe that will help. I don't know. Once I get them here, I will try to take a video comparing the new one to the old one. But if you guys know what the problem is, or if there's something else I should be doing, let me know down in the comments if you had this issue as well. I thought it was the pressure plate, and I'll insert a couple pictures here, but the pressure plate where the shaft or the splines go in through the clutch had the pressure plate fingers had like went around that. So I'm pretty sure that when I was bleeding it the second time with the new Tick Master, it pushed the throwout bearing too far, and that's what ended up pushing those fingers like that. But just let me know also there, because like I said, I'm new. I'm not a big fan of manual transmissions just because of this reason. There's so many things that can fail. I have literally no knowledge, and or the knowledge I have is coming from the internet, right? So little experience, little to no knowledge, but I know that if you get an automatic transmission, you put it in the car, it either, you know, the torque converter can go out, you put a different torque converter in it, the flex plate can snap in half, you put a new flex plate in it, or the transmission grenades itself within the case, and then you take it to the transmission shop, or you go to the junkyard or Facebook and you buy another one. So that's why I prefer automatic transmissions, and they're way faster now. Like, I get it that driving a manual is fun, and it is, but autos win races. Not that I'm a huge racer. Hopefully I'll get to take this car to the track, but autos just, they work or they don't work, and you get them fixed or you buy a new one. So let me know also what you guys think about manuals. I think manuals definitely are awesome. They're fun to drive. They're not fun to work on for me. Maybe someday, after all of this experience with this, I can learn, but I'm going to clean that shaft up, re-lube it. Then I'm going to get the other slave. I'll compare them real quick, and we'll start putting the car back together. Okay guys, we're back, and I think I figured out what the issue was with the transmission. It is right here. So I had an idiot moment when I bought the clutch. I bought one that was new, but it wasn't from a dealer. It was off Facebook Marketplace, like everything else that I buy. And when I got it, I didn't inspect all the parts were there, because I've never changed one of these clutches. This car never had a motor in it, and just a lot of things like that. So this is a pilot bearing for the input shaft on the torque tube. Didn't have it. So the torque tube was wobbling inside of the clutch and inside of the slave cylinder. That's what ended up chewing up the inside of that slave. So what I did was, the guide there never actually had a bearing on it when I was driving the car. So it was dirty because this car sat outside for a long period of time. I don't know how long. So it was all dirty. Cleaned it up with some steel wool and made sure the bearing would slide on. And then I cleaned up the inside of the flywheel so that I can push this bearing in. And I'm gonna put that in, put the clutch back together again, and then we're gonna put the car back together. So like I said, the reason that the inside of that slave was all chewed up was because I didn't have this pilot bearing in there. Thank you guys for the comments that you left in the last video. We're going to go ahead and start putting this thing back together and hopefully get the car running soon.